Now that I sent out a video about my intention with the channel and what I'd like it to become, there needs to be a little bit of context behind the experience I've had over the past couple of years. So, in the summer of 2015, I went to an addiction recovery center, an in resident recovery center for an addiction to pornography. And that really was the shift in my life that occurred that allowed me to see things differently. That allowed the world to occur to me uh, differently. And so when I talk about the principles of transformation and power of intent and power of creation and all these terms that seem second nature to me, it's really the stuff that has allowed me access to a whole other world, a whole other way of seeing everything around me. And that's what I hope to share. That's what I get to share with this channel. So when I went to this addiction recovery center, I was introduced to the principles of transformation. And really, we didn't talk about pornography at all. Really, we didn't talk about addiction very often either. It was all constantly within the context of transformation, what that looks like, and what that gets to be like for us individually. And really, when I went to my first AA meeting, I heard someone talk about firing their God and hiring a new one, and I didn't understand. I really didn't get it because I felt uneasy about that, and I missed the mark. Really, it's about letting go of the belief systems I had around God, right? Because the concept of God for me was missing the mark. It wasn't serving me very well, right? Uh, my idea of God was, God that um, you know, forgave everybody else except for me, or loved me, but right, like I had to earn it. I had to do things enough, and then I would be enough, right? And I really got that's not what God is, and letting go of my belief around God and what I conceptually put together as God, and letting all that go allowed me to experience really the atonement and got out of my own way essentially. So in the past 2 years, it's just been a constant, wonderful, blissful experience of going through resistance that I have in my life and letting go of the next thing, the next belief that's holding me back, and letting go of the next thing, and this constant process of letting go. And I get to have that for the rest of my life, and that's exciting. All these beliefs that I've gathered, I get to let them go. So that's what I mean by transformation, is just seeing the world differently. Nothing's changed. Really, I'm not interested in changing my life. I'm interested in just having it occur to me differently, if if it needs to. When there's resistance in my life, that's just a belief showing up that it has to be different than what it is. And really, just seeing it perfectly as it is a much more powerful place to be. And so peace, the peace of God, the peace that's just incredible, is is what I want to share. Is that peace in the heart that runs deep, and I'm talking to my fellow uh, guys and gals out there that are struggling with addiction, are struggling with pornography addiction. Here's my 2 cents in that. The way out isn't to focus more on the addiction. The way out isn't to understand the addiction cycle so well. There's some awareness there, it can serve you, but really, when it comes down to access to the atonement, access to power, uh, it requires a much deeper look inside and rooting out the belief systems that keep you bound in shame. And if you would like to talk more than open to it. Um, just comment "I am me" on Facebook. However, just contact me, and I'm more than open to sharing and listening. And I can promise you this: what you can count on from me is is no judgment, is listening to what's going on and giving no advice. I have no list. I have no checklist that I'm going to hand over and say, do these things and check back with me. And And maybe we can, maybe you could read enough books to get you out of the addiction, right? Maybe you can, say enough prayers that finally you'll be free of it. But ultimately, it just doesn't work. And that's what I want to invite you into, this space of transformation, of seeing the world completely different. And if you're open to that, that's just the first step into this wonderful, amazing, fantastic, incredible ride of recovery and really transformation.